This is Thomas Lyons on Raps on TV here at the NEC in Birmingham for the Body Power Expedition. Fortunate to be joined by Dan Hardy. Firstly, Dan, how are you?
I'm good, really good. I've actually just got here myself. I've been a round trip to the airport today, so I've just got here. We're at Fight Town and we've got the Polaris qualifiers going on. So yeah, it's good, really good. Busy, yeah, mad. Yeah. The whole weekend's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I mean, here for the expedition, obviously, Body Power, a massive brand. A lot focusing on the nutrition side of sport, various sort of performance enhancing substances. Obviously got the mats up today, the grappling, the mixed martial arts kind of aspect of it. Just talk to me a little bit how this kind of came about for yourself and
when Body Power first started out, we had quite a big martial arts involvement. I remember coming the first couple of years and I did autograph signings for Fighters Only magazine and that kind of thing, and then because the supplement fitness industry is so big, it just kind of consumed the whole expo. So martial arts kind of slowly found its way out, and I think that now the Body Power guys have been able to grow into such a big thing. I think they want to bring martial arts back in, so that's what we're doing this weekend. We're reintroducing martial arts back to Body Power. We've got some bags up, we've got obviously grappling, we've got all kinds of stuff going on. So all the fighters that are here this weekend are passing by, who are doing open workouts, and just kind of reminding people that we're here. And then hopefully next year we can go even bigger and have more combat sports here.
Yeah, as a platform we obviously focus a lot on the boxing, but we do keep tabs on the UFC, the mixed martial arts. Obviously I know you're heavily involved with Bellator MMA and also the UFC directly as well yourself. Yeah. Have a lot of leverage in the business and the industry. One fight I want to talk to you about, Darren Till, returned to the UK at the O2 against Masvidal. Yeah. Obviously it wasn't the result Till wanted. Just give me your analysis of the fight.
Well, you know, I think the thing is with Till fighting at welterweight, because he's such a big, strong, powerful fighter, and Masvidal used to fight at lightweight, so he was coming in, he was a much smaller fighter. And Darren kind of was dictating the pace, he was pushing him back, he was being very bullying in his approach. And I think he felt like he could take Masvidal's best shots. And I think it was the third round, he just stepped in, beautiful switch step, made Darren Till think like he was level changing, looking for the takedown. Came straight over the top and caught him with a clean, you know, just one of those things, sometimes it happens. And because MMA involves so many different elements, there's always a target that's open, and if your opponent's smart and experienced like Masvidal, they'll find a way around it. You know, Darren's still young, he's still got a lot of time. It was good to see Masvidal get that performance, because if he's going to get a title shot, he needs to do it in the next couple of years, whereas Darren, I still think his best years are at middleweight, so I'm hoping when he comes back he goes up a weight class.
Yeah, obviously the difference in boxing and MMA, obviously the weight categories are very sort of different. Obviously the 170-pound division is thriving. You've got Tyron Woodley, obviously he's come off the back of a loss. Reigned as champion for a very long time. Obviously Darren Till, Masvidal, a lot of fighters coming through the roster, so I mean a healthy time for the UFC and Bellator in general.
Yeah, I think so. I mean the welterweight division's always been really strong. The same as the lightweight division. You know, you look at all the lightweights in the rankings at the moment. Donald Cerrone's starting to look really strong again. You've got Justin Gaethje back on the rise. I mean, those two weight classes for me, the lightweight, welterweight weight classes are just always on fire. And I think that's starting to trickle over into middleweight and light heavyweight as well now. I think we're starting to discover more and more talent the bigger the sport gets.
Yeah. One fighter that's made the transition from the UFC or Bellator, over to boxing, Michael Venom Page.
Yeah.
I mean, you're familiar with MVP. He's obviously now sort of mix and match with the boxing side with Haymaker and David Hayes from that promotional body. Back in the Bellator, getting those showreel highlight knockouts. What's your take on MVP's career so far?
I think he's a fascinating prospect. I'm looking forward to seeing him climb the rankings and fight some more challenging opponents. I mean, he's fought a couple of veterans so far, but it's coming to that point in his career where we need to see him fight someone that's, you know, of a similar competitive level to him. He just seems to be too good for everybody at the moment, and you know we want to see whether that's too good for everybody or too good for a certain level. I think, you know, getting boxing experience is good for him as well, because obviously the more time you focus on one individual aspect, the more better you understand it, which is why obviously, you know, Polaris grappling tournaments are good as well. You get a lot of pro MMA fighters doing them as well, just to kind of sharpen different aspects of their game. And because MVP is such a good striker anyway, it's an easy transition for him. So I'm excited to see where he goes. I think he's one of the best talents we've got from this country in a long time.
With this platform, what's your obviously it's a testament to the sport that such a high profile figure like yourself involved in the kind of grassroots stuff with the MMA. How kind of beneficial is having an event like this?
I think it's awesome. I think because the best thing about being a part of an expo like this is that we get a lot of people walking past that don't know what we're doing. I think we get a lot of people stopping and wondering exactly what it is, because in most of the other stands they're throwing dumbbells around and kettlebells and stuff, and it's much more of a conditioning element, whereas this there's obviously a lot of technical aspects involved as well. So I think it hooks people, it brings them in. So we're opening the doors to a lot of new people, but at the same time I think it's good for us as members of the MMA community to be involved in something like this and to kind of, get together sometimes. We only see each other at MMA events usually, and it's quite a close community. So to get everybody on the mat together and have training sessions and different fighters dropping in, it's I think it's good. I think it's good to keep everybody in the UK connected. We're much stronger as a team if we're together. Much better chance of getting into bigger organisations and winning titles if we work together a bit.
I mean, a very enjoyable experience. Obviously, you're kind of used to looking at nurturing talent from when they're young. Obviously, the Contender Series has come through. Also looking at fighters like this at their sort of peak of their condition, grappling, striking, and just working on little techniques. I mean, in terms of their potential and their growth, how essential is it having kind of routine exercises like this?
It's massive. It's really important. I mean, especially because these guys that want to compete, the best thing for competition is to be competing as much as you can. And places like this where they've got people watching them, there's a bit of ego involved. They don't want to lose in front of a crowd. Those kind of things help. Those different pressures that you experience in competition that you can't get in the gym. So anything like this that we do, that's also why I wanted to get my students over from the gym, just to have them training on the mats with people wandering around, get them used to those, that public exposure, which is something to get used to if you're a fighter.
Definitely. Jon Jones was here earlier. I mean, the crowd seemed to swarm in, obviously, obvious reasons as to why that, but obviously he's come back after a win against Gustafsson for the light heavyweight title. Potential move to heavyweight. We see Cormier at the top. We've got Lesnar potentially making a move. Give me your take on the whole heavyweight landscape in the UFC at the moment.
I think it's wide open because there's not been a great deal of movement right at the very top. Stipe's not fought for a while. DC's kind of been holding off because he wanted the Brock fight. I think we're ready for a big heavyweight fight. I think if we get DC Stipe, the winner of that, if that's DC, I think that will entice Jones to go up to heavyweight. And I mean, you look at his height and reach in comparison to other heavyweights, and it's comparable, if not better. So I feel like Jon Jones at heavyweight would do really well. Really well. I just think he needs to be enticed up there, and I think that DC is the only person to do that.
Talking about heavyweights, Tyson Fury. We obviously know someone that's heavily linked to the UFC, Joe Rogan. That's his podcast. Spoke to Tyson about his layoff, 18 months out of the ring in activity. It's very well documented, sort of stuff that's gone on in his personal life. It's about his back, obviously that massive fight in the Staples Center against Deontay Wilder in December. I mean, in terms of as an inspiration for young people coming through, what's your take on Fury's kind of rejuvenation in the sport?
I think it's very courageous of him to be so public about it, to be so open and speak about it. I mean, there are a lot of people that struggle with those kind of issues that they don't feel comfortable speaking out. So when you have a former heavyweight champion doing it and a guy that's been able to turn it around and step back into competition and do well, it's a good role model for a lot of people. And I think, like I said, it takes a lot of courage and confidence to be able to put yourself in the public eye like that and open yourself up and respect to him for doing it.
And obviously moving forward away from the UFC, have you got anything lined up potentially with the analysis in boxing? Are you looking to maybe dive into that? I know you've done a lot of work within boxing, so a little bit of analysis. Obviously the Mayweather Memorial fight is a kind of a marquee moment in the sport. Looking back at that in August of 2016, was it? Around then. Obviously painting a wider picture for boxing and obviously the UFC, two industries coming together. Do you think there needs to be more of that to grow the sport in general in the future?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think it needs to be necessary, but I think it's helpful. I certainly think that the more times we overlap as sports, the more comfortable we get with each other, the less we'll see each other as competitors. And the problem with the Maymac fight, obviously I was heavily involved in it, is that it was still very much a us versus you kind of situation. And I was ashamed because I was there to be a representative for MMA in the boxing world, and I felt like the boxing world were like, okay, we're here to take you on, and I didn't really feel like it was. I mean, we're all combat sports, you know. I don't. There's plenty of room for all of us. There'll be people that like boxing, people that like MMA, and people that love both. And most of my friends love both. So the less competition, the less aggro between the two, the better. So I mean, I like the crossovers. I don't even mind events supporting each other and promoting. I always remember Ricky Hatton used to wear a UFC patch on his shorts. You know, those kind of things. I like that.
I think as well, there's kind of been a little bit of an injustice to the UFC in terms of these potential crossover fights. I know there was talks about Michael Bisping even going over to fight Tony Bellew in boxing. Even like women fighters like Holly Holmes, obviously with a reputable boxing background, but also like Katie Taylor looking maybe to have a potential marquee fight in the UFC, as you say. So I mean, healthy times for boxing. Just lastly, Dan, for the Raps on TV viewers, the guys that like the UFC and Bellator, do you want to kind of just give a rundown of the events coming up for Bellator MMA?
As far as Bellator, I'm not following Bellator a great deal, just when I've got fighters in it. We've got Terry Brazier's got a fight coming up, I believe that's June 22nd. As far as UFC goes, the next one I'm working on will be UFC Stockholm June 1st. But then this weekend, tomorrow night, it's Rose Namajunas against Jessica Andrade. That's going to be a huge one. A lot of stars on that. Anderson Silva, Jose Aldo. So yeah, loads of good stuff coming up.
Big time for the UFC. Just lastly, boxing related. In terms of like the heavyweights at the moment, are you kind of up to date with the whole Joshua Miller situation and now the fight's been called off?
Yes, failed drug test, right?
Drug test. So, I mean, obviously that's another topic in itself. Kind of the performance enhancing drugs, misuse in the sport. In your opinion, how much does that taint the reputation of not just the individual but the wider sport as a whole?
I think, to be honest, as long as they're being caught, I think it reflects very, very good for the sport. I think the worst thing would be if people are using stuff and then we're finding out after the fact, after the fought. The fact that he was removed from the fight before the fight shows me that we've got good drug testing in place and that these athletes are being protected. I think really failing a drug test should only reflect badly on the fighter that failed the drug test. But obviously that comes into confusion when the fighter had the fight first and then discovered afterwards that they failed. I think as long as we're getting them before they compete, I think it's only good for the sport.
And I appreciate you giving us some time.
No worries.
And hopefully we'll see the progress of both Bellator and the UFC in the future. And also good luck with the rest of this weekend and all your future endeavours.
Thank you, mate.
Thomas Lyons, Raps on TV, Dan Hardy, we're out. Top man.